What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome in to CHGO Bulls pregame, presented by Circus Sportsbook. Download the Circus Sports Illinois app at circusports.com/Illinois-app to sign up today. I'm Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. My guys, Big Dave, Bow, BNWL Sports, and Will the Goat Gottlieb, Will_Gottlieb. Our panel producer, Joey Spathis, on the controls. Happy Monday. Hope everybody's had a great start to their week. Bulls, second night of back-to-back in Milwaukee tonight. Coming off a nice win over the Pistons yesterday, 4-6 through 10. Who's excited?
I am. Joey, are those sweatpants?
They are, Dave.
No, I wasn't saying that to laugh. I was confused because it didn't look like the texture of a sweatpant.
Yeah,
That's
these are sweatpants. These are my favorite.
Oh, my God.
My favorite pair.
Where are they from?
My favorite brand. My favorite pair.
Are those like nylon? Like what kind of?
Yeah, they're
material
like
is that?
they're nice. I'll show you after the
Hey,
show.
bro, that's a little too much.
What? What'd I do?
was
That-
seeing,
oh,
all right,
sorry.
Thanks. All right.
But yeah, they're
I
nice.
mean, if you ask, if you pry into Joey's pants-wearing life, then you can't not like the fact that you might get a detailed answer.
Very nice.
Oh, it wasn't the answer now. It was of the visual that I didn't want.
You can't be upset if you get an interactive display of an answer.
Really? I can't? Really? Okay.
Hey, man.
I'm not upset, Joe. But thank you for showing me.
No problem.
Just a reminder that we are getting closer and closer to our first CSO Bulls Takeover of the season coming up this Friday. Bulls Magic Part 2. They're going to play the Magic on Wednesday. In-season tournament game, though. Woo-woo! Game is at 7. We will be hanging out, doing a little pre-gaming at a bar here in our neighborhood, and then head to the UC from there. There still are a few tickets left. If you haven't gotten one yet, you've been on the fence thinking, what do I about to do this Friday? The answer is come hang out with us. Come hang out with your fellow Bulls fans. Tickets are very affordable for a price of a game ticket plus the vibes, hanging out pre-game. And if you are a CHGO diehard, it's an even better deal. So act quickly.
Vibes are tax-free.
No one likes paying taxes.
Bring your Shady Rays because that court is going to be something blinding.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something
well, how
like
was
that?
that court for you? Like you being
Honestly,
here, let's hear the whole thing.
In
about the court.
person, it did not seem as electric as you thought, or as maybe it did on
As
TV.
violently red as it looked.
Violently red. It was still too much, though, in my opinion.
Okay,
So
all right.
It's been interesting now to see, like, this past Friday, there was a whole additional slate of in-season tournament games, new teams hosting on their home courts for the first time. And it's been a weird mixture of all the different games that I've seen and tuned into, at least parts of. Some of these in-season tournament courts I really like, and some of them I'm like, oh, dear God, get it away.
Yeah, they're nice. I'm still the jury's still out for me on the in-season tournament. Like I'm not in yet.
I think the NBA just sent out some memo that like
I
viewership
just
was
saw
up
that.
by 55%.
Viewership is up 50-something%.
So-
Beautiful.
I think like that part of it's great.
Yes.
They should be trying to establish reasons
More eyes on the
for
product.
fans to watch the regular
Sure.
season. They should be trying to add value to these regular season games. The courts, it just like I get that that's a part of it, but to me they could have like made a special logo in the center of the court or like had a different
kinda
like
did.
trim or something, but like the whole red or like the Suns one is just like so purple. It's cool, but it's just like extremely purple.
Yeah.
And it's just a little distracting when you're trying to actually watch the basketball game.
Will did not go to art school.
I did not.
a fan. Not a
I did
fan.
not.
Class. That's it. We're focused. No wood shop.
Eco being in the
Basketball.
comments is
Basketball, though.
is right. He said it kind of looks like a backgammon board. I hadn't thought of it that way, but it kind of does.
Wow,
With,
that's
the
really good.
The way
That's
that they have
really
the
good.
paint,
Yeah.
you know, the painted area painted.
Wait, do y'all play backgammon?
I do not.
Okay, Joey, backgammon. All right, go look up the backgammon.
I'm
board.
familiar. I know what it looks like.
Okay, all right. Had to show Will. It's a fun game.
Oh,
though.
no,
I
I've seen
played
the
in a
board.
while. I haven't played in a long time. It's been a minute. Have you played that? How you play?
Yeah, back in the day.
Back in the day. Okay.
Haven't played recently.
Yeah.
All right. Fun stuff to talk about in tonight's pregame show leading up to Bulls Bucks. Let's start, though, with a quick injury update on both sides tonight. Alex Caruso, who sat out last night's game with an injured toe, is once again out tonight. I saw a tweet from Casey Johnson saying Billy said he hopes to play sometime later this week. So maybe he'll play Wednesday, or maybe he'll play somewhere in the Friday-Saturday back-to-back. Obviously, in-season tournament game if the Bulls are still trying to participate.
Bulls Takeover.
0-1 in the in-season tournament so far. But yes, obviously for our selfish benefit, we would like it if Caruso is out there playing Friday when we're at the UC watching.
Correct.
Will, from yesterday, did you guys get a chance to talk to Alex at all, despite him being inactive? Like, what more can you tell us about what he's going through?
No, for the most part, players are not available to the media if they are injured or on the injury report. So we haven't had a chance to talk with him. Basically, what we heard from Billy after the game was like, I feel like it's not that serious, but so I don't want to say like he's going to be out for multiple weeks, but I also don't want to say it's day-to-day because it could take a little bit longer than that. So we just didn't really get a clear picture, but I would imagine it's somewhere in the course of like a week to maybe 2 based on the way that Billy described it, but that's just my speculation.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then on the Bucks side of things, Damian Lillard has missed a little bit of time with a calf strain. I saw from Jamal Collier of ESPN a little less than an hour ago. He is officially active tonight. So Dame will be playing tonight.
Super duper.
Per Bucks coach Adrian Griffin, he said they will keep an eye on Dame's minutes tonight. So maybe, easing Dame back into things. But obviously, that's going to make things more difficult from the Bulls' defensive perspective tonight, Dave.
I don't know why, but him saying keeping an eye on his minutes, the first thing I thought was, this is something you say when you're playing a team that isn't really good.
If we can get Dame out there for 2.5 or 3 quarters and then sit him down.
Yeah, and then, let him rest. That is literally something the 90s Bulls used to say all the time. So I don't like it. Go punch him in the face. Go punch him in the face, Bulls. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Let's go win.
So speaking of that starting 5 for the Bucks, they just the team on their account released it. It is going to be Dame, Malik Beasley, Middleton, Giannis, and Brook Lopez as the Bucks starting 5. The darker news for the Bucks on their recent injury report, and this just came out earlier tonight from Shams Charania, that Jay Crowder, who got injured in I think their game a couple nights ago, is going to have surgery for a left adductor and abdominal tear.
Damn.
And will be sidelined for 8 weeks,
Jeez.
give or take. That's a big hit.
Yeah.
Jay Crowder, no spring chicken, but he has been a vital piece on a lot of different deep playoff run teams over the last handful of years, whether it be Phoenix or, the bubble Miami Heat, now with Milwaukee. He's also top 5 in the NBA in three-point percentage right now, which is weird. Jay has kind of been a streaky up-and-down three-point shooter throughout most of his career, and he hasn't been taking a ton of attempts, but he's been knocking down over 51% of his threes.
Wow.
And even more so importantly, just a body that the Bucks have been using a lot. He's started 2 of the 9 games he's played so far this season, averaging 27 minutes per game. So that's a big loss for the Bucks.
Yeah, he also types in all caps on Twitter.
He does do that.
At Bossman99. That's always amusing. But their defense, the Bucks right now, without Drew Holiday, has just really suffered. I mean, Malik Beasley, who's like one of the worst defenders in the league, has been their wing stopper. So when you lose another defensive body, that's tough. That's a lot to overcome. It also puts a lot more responsibility on Giannis and Brook Lopez for those guys to be even better, cleaning up the mess back there. Because it's been kind of just like a turnstile. Here, you guys take it down the lane if you want, but you can finish over Brook and Giannis. Good luck to you.
Yeah. A body, a brain, and a mind too, because he's really intelligent. Like his IQ, he raises the IQ of your team the minute he gets there, and just an aggressive player, like a guy that can do every single thing, like that all-tool kind of player, with the veteran mind state as well. Like he's like when I think of guys like Jeff Green, Bruce Brown is becoming one of those guys too. You know what I mean? Like he's one of those guys that, we're ready to win. You go get Jay Crowder. It's time to win.
We'll circle back to the Bucks defense and the struggles they've endured so far this season a little bit later, because I've got some thoughts on that. And I looked at the numbers. I knew the Bucks defense was struggling. Then I looked at their defensive 4 factors earlier today, and I was like, oh damn. Hey, maybe the Bulls offense, which itself is struggling, can actually have a chance to put in some points tonight.
I want to kiss you.
Yeah.
Struggling.
We'll look at what Giannis and Dame have done so far as the new Bucks star duo. Also, take a look at some interesting thoughts from DeMar post-game last night after the win about this team and how badly they all want to win. And then also some glaring numbers that you were tweeting out about this Bulls big 3.
The GOAT?
Mid 3? feel like mid-3 is catching on.
I feel like, did you guys hear the low post?
I listened pretty much every episode. I don't know what you're referring to.
The 3 betas?
Oh, the 3 betas. Yes, I did also. I heard that and then stole it
that's
and casually threw the
I
beta
heard
3 in there
people talking
yesterday.
about that, and I obviously thought it was hilarious. And
That's
then
tough.
I forgot about it, and then a couple days later listened to that podcast and heard him say it, and it just...
And it's, it's so perfect.
Struck a chord.
And a great throwback to, the OG hilarious name of a Bulls Big 3, but instead being the 3 alphas.
Ladies and
Who can
gentlemen,
forget?
really quick, 5 of the 6 first basket scores are Milwaukee Bucks tonight, and that leads us right to DeMar DeRozan plus 900. I feel good about this. Go to your DraftKings app. Go to your Circa app. Do it now. Do
Take-
it now
take
and
DeMar.
don't complain
Yeah.
later.
First bucket.
That was just like Andre Drummond coming in and just immediately calling for a post. Just give me the ball. Get out of my way. Everybody stop what you're doing.
And watch me.
Oh, my goodness.
Let me cook.
I loved
DeMar
it.
plus 900. You heard it here first.
Absolutely loved it.
Joey's practice experience.
Big Dave,
Yes, sir.
tell the people out there at Bulls Nation about game time.
Hey, Joey, if you don't mind, after giving, that wonderful diatribe you just went on, you mind telling me when you get a chance what time it is?
Game time, who?
Smooth and cool. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all your sports, music, comedy, and theater nearest you with killer last-minute deals. All-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying those tickets. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour before or after, that it starts. It is the place to find last-minute seats. Find exclusive flash deals, sponsored deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and much, much more. And with zone deals, you pick the section, Game Time does the selecting for an average of, drum roll please, man, 18% savings. That drum roll was awesome. And Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem the code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guarantee. Because Joey, what time is it?
Game time, who?
See, I was cool and smooth right there. I'm just, just to wake up Joe. That was just
great.
to wake up Joe.
Woke me up too.
Yeah, just
You know what else helps me wake up sometimes? It's a nice, refreshing tall boy of Goose Island IPA.
Ooh.
CHGO is supported by Goose Island Beer Company. It's Chicago's beer since 1988. Drink the Oktoberfest, even though it's November. You're allowed. The Beer Hug family. Our guy Joe is drinking the new Juicy Beer Hug.
Juicy.
Joe, how are the first few sips treating you?
Is it juicy?
It is tropical and juicy waves.
I like that.
Something like that.
Waves.
Waves.
Waves of tropical
Waves, he
juicy
said.
beer.
It's
Waves, he said.
citrusy haze and juicy waves.
Look at that.
Shout out Hayes.
Dropping bars. Hey! We love our guy Hayes. Also, of course, try the Full Pocket Pilsner if you haven't yet. It's delicious. Dave and I love it. We got to restock it at our office fridge.
We drank it all.
Because we drank it all. And when we're heading to the Madhouse on Friday, y'all got to try the new collab beer between Goose Island and the Bulls called Bull and Goose West Side Ale. Can't get over how dope the can artwork is on those.
It's really dope, man.
Very
It really
cool.
is. Very
Grab
cool.
ultra refreshing brewery exclusive beers at Goose Island's original brew house on Clybourne Ave in Lincoln Park, or their tap room on Fulton Street right over here in West Town. Goose Island Beer Company. It's Chicago's beer. People in the comments still coming up with alternative nicknames for the Bulls. Fish said, "Good 3, whack 12." Geo, AC in the middies. Ooh, I like that one.
AC and the
Yeah, we're going to talk about what AC being next to the Bulls mid 3 does to that lineup's plus minus in a second. But before we get to that, wanted to touch on a quote that you had from DeMar after post game or after last night's game, Will, about the noise and the fact that this Bulls team is aware of some of this noise that's growing.
good.
Whether it be, Brian Windhorst and hashtag potential downfall and all that jazz.
In a world.
And Joe, I don't know if you have that quote that you could throw up there or Will's tweet, but he said, on the outside, I know a lot of people look at it like it's a lot of chaos, this and that. the whole team meeting thing. Every guy in this locker room wants to win. Everybody wants the best for one another. It's just about us honing in and finding that balance of bringing it every single night. Mm-hmm. For me, what I'm most happy about is every single guy in here just having that passion and wanting to win. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I buy that. I'll just say that flatly. I don't know if I buy that. Just based on the body language and the concerning lack of effort that we've seen for stretches through these first 10 games, I don't know where DeMar's getting that feeling from. Obviously, he's in that locker room and I am not.
Sure.
He's talking to his teammates every day and I am not. But as an observer who's watching this team play every night through the first few weeks of the season, I don't get that vibe.
I agree. It's why I came on here ranting and yelling about the team because, again, like I tell you, the thing that pisses me off more is lack of effort. And it just really felt like it was a lack of effort going on with the team and with certain players. Definitely not DeMar. I don't think we've ever questioned his effort or, because he gets out there every time and you can tell he's going balls to the wall, even if he's hurt. He's putting in that effort and he's doing the things that the team has asked him to do and more. So I'll never question it from him, but you're right. He's on the inside, you know what I mean? We're on the outside looking in, but at the same time, we're sitting there watching the product, and we're like, I don't feel it, man. I don't feel that same way. So I'm with you on that one, Matt.
I feel like one of the things that I've learned about talking to players is that they are so well trained in PR that especially the guys who have been in the league for 14 years, the way DeMar has, they always know the right thing to say. And I think you have to credit all these guys for knowing the right things to say and saying them. I mean, this top to bottom, Billy, Zach, DeMar, Vooch, Patrick Williams, Kobe, all these guys have come in this season and said the right things, but there's a disconnect between what they're saying and what they're doing. Mm-hmm. And I think DeMar probably even believes that to a certain extent, that these guys want to win, but also at the same time, are we seeing them do the things that are necessary for them to win? And obviously, I think there have been moments where they have. There have been moments where they haven't. And last night, I said to you guys that I felt that the second unit was the one that had more of an identity. Yeah. And I was just thinking more about that. Billy Donovan, DeMar, Zach, Vooch, they've all said, we've seen that we can do it. We just need to do it consistently. Billy said last night there have been moments where we've been a good defensive team, but we need to do it consistently. There have been moments where we are a good rebounding team, where we are, a good scoring team, where we don't turn the ball over, where we get to the free throw line. All these things, but we don't do them consistently. And I think that's the biggest problem is that, you have no idea what you're going to get from this team every single night because they could be good at stuff, but they aren't always. They could get off to a good start or they could be down 20 halfway through the first quarter, and you just have no idea what this team's identity is. And I feel like after 3 years, you still are struggling to figure out who you are, let alone how to get there. I think they can say that all they want, but they have not proved it. And when you show me a clip of 4 guys looking at a ball rolling on the floor,
talk to him, GOAT,
and Jaden Ivey comes in from behind all of them, and I would assume he was pointing at the ball on the floor, and the Pistons come up with it. I don't care if you win that game. That tells me everything I need to know about how these guys are caring about playing for one another and how I think that they hear this outside noise and they agree with it. They feel like it's kind of over. That's my sense.
There's something I wanted to talk to you about that I saw on that playoff camera that I want to talk to you about later. Thank you for saying that. I can go back even further than this season. In previous seasons with the Bulls and this, core and with everybody that they have always said the right thing. Every time.
I'm saying.
All the time. They've always said, yeah, we know, man. We get it. We're not happy about this either. This sucks. This is what we did wrong. We pointed this. Billy would go to the press conference and, lay it out perfectly what everybody is doing wrong. And you go to the locker room and everybody will tell you what they're doing wrong. This has got to change. We're sick of this. We're tired. And you come get the same thing. Every single time. What I always tell you, Matt.
Saying ain't like doing.
Ain't like doing. They tell you all the time. Saying ain't like doing, bro. We're not seeing it. I hear it. We get that you know it. I understand that you're educated. I get it. Put the education to use.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I need to see it on the floor. We're not seeing it on the floor, dog.
And that's the thing. Like the phrase that stuck out from for me in DeMar's quote was the thing when he said, "It's about honing in, finding the balance, bringing it every night." Like, okay, yes, well trained PR speak, and his head coach Billy Donovan great at that too. But saying it ain't like doing, because we don't see that out there. And what is it? And Drewish in the comments said this Bulls team, they've been saying stuff like this for 3 years, and we see the same thing, and we see lack of effort sometimes. So what, how do you really nail down how to fix honing in, finding the balance of giving a shit? I'm sorry, no. I hear those words, and I think that means absolute dick all to me. Pardon my language. It's just no. And I don't know if the players believe it themselves. That's the part that I'm really starting to wonder about.
Well, one more thing I want to add to that. I don't know if you guys saw the clip of Adam Silver talking with JJ Redick about NBA analysis and on the broadcast, and when the media talks to players and coaches, how in football the analysis is just fantastic. Mm-hmm. You feel like you learn something every day about how to read coverages, guys' routes. There's so much to learn in a football broadcast. And oftentimes what it comes down to for basketball is we got to try harder. We got to be the team that gives more effort and energy. Mm-hmm. And again, that's coach speak. What I want to hear from this team is not we need to find consistency, because there isn't an answer to we need to find consistency. Mm-hmm. That's not something that you can answer. Give me a thing you can do to get to a place where you're consistent.
That is correct.
And I think the reason that they can't give those ansers is because there's not one.
Right. Because they're not doing it.
And like that, then you get to the numbers. And Will, you broke down the Bulls in certain, offensive and defensive 4 factors and things like that. On Twitter, in case you missed it. But basically, for all the things that DeMar or any of his, fellow, co-leaders of this team can say about honing in and finding balance and bringing it every night, the numbers are what the numbers are. And Zach, DeMar, and Vooch, your 3 highest paid players, your 3 key guys, minus 20.3 in 404 possessions.
Ugh.
That's... Wanted to let that sink in. That means they are getting scored by 20.3 points per 100 possessions when they are on the court together. Mm-hmm. So if you extrapolate that out, there's about 100 possessions in every game. If you were to have those 3 playing for those 100 possessions, they would lose that game by 20 points on average.
Who said, man?
They would get dubbed up on average.
The further detail you threw in there, Will, which I appreciated and also made me want to cry myself to sleep. Of all lineups in the NBA that have played more than 100 possessions together so far this season, the Bulls' current starting lineup of Zach, Vooch, DeMar, Kobe, and Torrey Craig, which, by the way, same starting lineup tonight, Bulls posted, worst in the NBA at minus 41.3. Minus 41.3. Previous starting lineup, when it was Pat instead of Torrey Craig, 4th worst of all NBA 5-man lineups at minus 20.
Which is why, this whole conversation, I know it died down of you got to get Patrick Williams out of the starting lineup. He's ruining it for everybody. He looks terrible. He's not worth $200 million. All this stuff that was happening for the first couple of games.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. You're missing the point. Mm-hmm. The point is this group doesn't work together because the 3 best players aren't good together.
That's what the numbers are telling you.
Yikes.
That's what it is.
And Joe, if you want to throw that back up again, I saw you also added in the context of having Caruso with the big 3, Will, and then having Caruso not with the big 3. And those numbers are pretty glaring. When you add Caruso in to the Zach, DeMar, Vooch trio, then in those 143 possessions, the Bulls are only a minus 1.3. Compared to when the big 3 are out there and Caruso is not out there, it's even worse than that minus 20.3 when it's just Zach, DeMar, Vooch, regardless of Caruso. It's minus 28.7 in over 300 possessions. I'm sorry, you see those numbers and then you say, I don't care how many times DeMar or anyone else says, We believe in each other in this locker room. We care for each other in the locker room. We got to hone in and figure it out. We got to bring it every night. Well, what you're bringing every night is that.
Yeah.
Yikes.
That's trash. And we don't want you to bring trash anymore. We're tired. It smells. It stinks.
I create enough of my own trash.
Yes, this is true.
I am not a person who has a compost bin. I just create trash everywhere I go. I don't need more of it from the Bulls starting lineup.
Oh, we don't need it. Oh, it's tough. First of all, shout out also the Wheels ensemble that he has on. It looks very nice right now.
That is a Chicago fall outfit right there.
I'm digging this right here, Will.
Gray hoodie.
Nice, I'm digging this, bro.
Green and black flannel, which I love green and black flannel.
It works. It works perfectly.
I knew it was smart to come into the studio today.
All right, well, so that's the lot of life that the Bulls are currently dealing with. That's fun coming into tonight's game. Their opponents, meanwhile, the Milwaukee Bucks, surprisingly about a 500 team so far. I believe they are 5-4 coming into tonight's action. And they've taken what you might call some bad L's so far as they try and figure out this new roster, this new system, adding in Dame, losing Drew Holiday. So far this season, the newly named Freak Time combo of Giannis and Dame have been doing their part. Neither of them have found the greatest efficiency so far. Mm-hmm. Giannis is still, flirting with 30 points per game scorer on pretty efficient shooting. Obviously, he's not much of a three-point shooter. I think he's getting about up, 2.5 or 3 attempts a game. Can't shoot those. Can't shoot free throws. Doing his work on the glass, doing a little bit of playmaking, and then Dame's shooting numbers are a little woskies.
A little poopy.
I mean, he's getting 24 points a game. I think most of that has to do with the fact that, like Giannis, he's getting to the free throw line double-digit times every night.
It's amazing.
But he's shooting 92% on his free throws because you saw his shooting splits, 40% from the field and really struggling from three.
That's tough, man.
Unlike Dame.
Yeah, and it's the glaring thing is the defense. Like, that is the glaring thing. So when Dame isn't putting up those Dame Lillard numbers, then you're like, well, damn, what are we doing here? Because everything else becomes so glaring. You're like, oh, you guys really are bad at defense out there. Oh, he can't stay in front of his man because he's a little older right now. Like, that's what he is, right now. But I'm not concerned about it yet. I think Dame is just kind of finding his footing. Like, remember, he was in a place for over 10 years, man. Like, and a place that he loves that he'll probably have a statue at. Like, he still got to get rid of that. Getting on a different time zone, being in a place that he didn't even want to be in. Let's be real about that. He wanted to be in Miami. He didn't really want to be here. So he's getting used to new things and getting his mind wrapped around some stuff. So I'm going to still give him some time to figure it out because he's Dame Lillard. So I'm giving him a little extra time. But it is interesting that they would start off like this. And also saw the stat, their 2 worst losses had Dame in the lineup. And that's shout out Drew from It's the Bigs, where I saw that at. But, yeah, with Dame in that lineup, their 2 biggest deficits were with him. And that says a lot about the defense of this team and also what Drew Holiday was also masking. We talk a lot about what Lonzo was hiding and masking for this team. Well, I'll let you know exactly what Drew Holiday was doing for them defensively as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely going to be a period of time that, they have to gel and feel each other out and figure out how to play together. I also think that just the way that he stretches out the court, even if he's not shooting the ball at a super high level, like you're going to see tonight, the Bulls are going to trap him as soon as he gets across half court.
Yes.
Because that's what they do against guys like that, just to get the ball out of his hands. And so, yeah, that's going to take away some scoring opportunities, but it's going to give Giannis a 4-on-3 every single time. And that's going to be pretty difficult to defend.
That's the risky one, yeah.
Chris Middleton's only playing like 18 minutes a game right now. I think he'll at some point work his way into shape and hopefully help them, just be another safety valve, another guy that can create in some of those 4-on-3 situations and just add more shooting to the perimeter because they're really lacking that. But I do think just being out there by virtue of that reputation that you mentioned, he is going to change the way that teams have to think about guarding the Bucks. Yeah. Do they try to take away Giannis? Do they try to take away Dame? You can't take away both. So, like, you have to give something up somewhere. And if it's a night where the Bulls are trying to wall off the paint and take away Giannis, then Dame could get loose. And that's maybe what we see. If not, maybe Giannis will go kind of crazy because the Bulls are selling out to try to stop Dame and get the ball out of his hands.
Yeah, pick your poison.
So I did a little bit of a closer look at the Bucks' defensive struggle so far compared to recent seasons and specifically last season. When last season the Bucks were fourth in the NBA defensive rating wise, 111.9 points allowed per 100. Now going back to the 21-22 and the 2021 season, their rankings varied anywhere from 4th to 14th to 10th. But so, worst case, middle of the pack. But the actual figure pretty much stayed the same. 111.9, 111.8, 111.4. That's the Bucks defensive rating dating back the last 3 seasons. This season, they are currently 25th in the NBA at 117.4. So obviously bottom 5 rankings wise, and that number jumped way up. And then when you look at specifically, go ahead.
They're pulling the Bulls.
They're pulling the Bulls. The
Top 5 and bottom
defensive
5.
4
Rebound,
factors
yeah.
this season compared to last season, when again they were the 4th best defense in the NBA, because I was like, well, where's the fall off coming from specifically? They actually have improved creating turnovers. They were dead last in the NBA last season at creating turnovers. Now they're 18th at 12.7 turnover percentage. But every other category among the 4 factors, they have taken significant drops. Their opponent's effective field goal percentage, best in the league last season. It is now down to 22nd. Their defensive rebounding, 3rd in the NBA last season, now down to 23rd. And then their rate of free throws allowed per field goal attempts taken, 2nd in the NBA last season, down to 14th so far this season. So if you're saying to yourself as a Bulls fan, where can the Bulls, whose offense is struggling to find its own rhythm and its own way so far, maybe take advantage of these weaknesses? The Bulls have put an emphasis on crashing the offensive glass.
Yes, they do.
The Bucks are not clearing the glass as well. Maybe start there. But then, flip the script on that. Will, I saw that you wrote up about how the Bulls' defensive rebounding has taken its own, Titanic-esque sink so far this season. So that's fun.
Not the Titanic-esque. That was
It's another.
Bulls were top 3,
Really
right?
well done,
Defensive
yes.
rebounding percentage last season.
They were 3rd last year, and they're 28th this year. So top 3 to bottom 3. And
the Bucks are pulling the Bulls, and the Bulls are pulling the Bucks.
Wherever you are.
But you look at those numbers, and you say, wow, it's not just the eye test. This Bucks defense has taken a hit through their first stretch of the season. Maybe gives Bulls fans a bit more optimism than we would otherwise have coming into this one.
Yeah, and Grayson Allen's not there.
Well, that's nice, but we all already have.
He's a killer. No,
had
I'm
to
just saying
see
that
his
because
ugly mug.
he kills the Bulls. You know what I mean? That's the only reason I'm saying that.
How many threes did he
kills
hit
them,
against us in that OT
8.
loss to Phoenix?
8 of them things.
that's more threes than the Bulls have made all year.
Talk to him, Will.
Oh my God!
Will getting them in.
Shout
Get
out
one in there.
to Dan, who throws a super chat saying, "Are we going to get the 5th victory of continuity tonight, or the 7th loss of mediocrity tonight?"
Ooh.
You could also say 5th victory of mediocrity and 7th loss of continuity. I mean, I feel like those are interchangeable.
Wow, you're right.
Either way, we're either about to be 5-6 or 4-7.
Either way, it's only one way to end this, man. It's that way.
I'm predicting a win, by the way.
You
Come on, way to
are,
go.
Yeah.
Of course,
Starting
you are.
with the Pistons game yesterday, I was predicting a 4 of 6. 4 wins out of the next 6 games.
Okay.
So they got one of them, so now 3 wins out of their next 5. I'm calling it.
I think it, again, will come down to the bench, too, because, again, if that bench comes out and plays like they did last game, they got a really good shot because they have a better bench than the Bucks have.
Last thing, and then we'll get out of here because we're 5 minutes past 7. Tip-off is moments away. Last night, we maybe expected an uptick in Javon Carter minutes because of Alex Caruso sitting out. Instead, we saw a fantastic game from Io.
Shout out,
off
Io.
the bench. Will we see Billy go back to Io for a longer, piece of the bench puzzle minutes-wise tonight, or because we got some revenge game potential for Javon Carter, is it the Javon Carter revenge game? Like, I
gonna
kind
be
of want to see the
interesting.
Javon Carter revenge game.
Yeah, I like to see whoever's hitting the threes. That's what I want to see. Who's hitting those threes, getting them buckets, leave them in. That's what I want.
Let's do it.
Come on, Andre Drummond.
All
Can
right.
you do it 2 games in a row?
Tip off in a couple of minutes. Thank you all for tuning into pregame. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button on your way out. If you didn't do so yet, it helps us out a lot. We appreciate it. Go ahead and subscribe as well if you aren't already to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. For Joey, talent producer, Will the Goat, Big Dave, I'm Peck. Thanks for watching pregame. We will see you for postgame. Bulls Bucks part 1. See you, Rebby. Good.
Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.